Guys, this is just a demonstration video. We have not started yet. Don't worry, there is no this is just a background music is there, so we have muted that audio. Don't worry, we'll start in a few minutes. Okay. Don't worry that it is not audible because it is muted. We'll start in a few minutes. It's just a demonstration video. That's it. Yes, whoever has joined new, right? Do not panic, guys. The session has not started yet. It was just a demonstration video, right? We are going to start shortly, right? We are expecting a few more people to join, and then we'll start taking the session. Okay.
And one more thing, guys. So today we are not streaming this on YouTube. From next session, we will be streaming this on YouTube. For today, only Zoom. Thanks.
Chris, am I audible to you?
Yeah, Sudhanshu.
Sure.
Okay, fine. I think we can start.
My voice is clear?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I know you are eagerly waiting for this particular session, and welcome everyone again. And as Mohit had recently said that, we are not making it live in YouTube for today, just one day, but from the next session it will be live. And now understand that from past 2 weeks we had actually started the initiative to give back to the data science community, and we had started with two sessions which are completely for free. One is Python session, which is a 6-week session. Apart from that, we also started with Power BI and Tableau, and we have also taken a lot of feedback from everyone. How is the session all about, and we have got a wonderful response. Now, considering that, many people had also requested actually to keep sessions on project architecture, because some people know machine learning, deep learning. You may have implemented also some POCs, but you still don't know how to portray the project information into your resume so that the recruiter gets impressed in the first time he basically sees the resume itself. So for this particular session, I, along with iNeuron team, have come up with a collaboration opportunity wherein we are again starting initiative, which is just to give back to the data science community regarding discussion about data science project architectures. Apart from that, resume building also. Now, again, we got a wonderful response for that too. And from today, the session will be started. And I hope everybody has got the dashboard access. If you have not got it, please do contact the support team, which is at support@ineuron.ai in the Skype, and then they'll able to help you out. Now, one more thing that is required, guys. We need only one thing from you. That is, you need to be dedicated in understanding this particular session. Make sure that you watch this session till the end, because trust me, it will definitely be helpful for you, because that is the stage which will help you to clear the interviews. That is the most important thing. Now, apart from that, I would also request you to share this thing with everyone, your college friends. This is applicable for each and every person. Just tell them to join this particular session, as it is completely for free. You need not pay anything. So utilize this opportunity, because I have seen a lot of questions from people not able to build their resume, not able to understand the project architecture. So it is a sincere request to, or after this particular session, share this thing which each and every one, your friend, your family members in your college, everyone, and tell them just to contact support@ineuron.ai. Apart from that, I've also uploaded a video in my YouTube channel regarding the same. There also you can fill up the form. But if you try to contact support@ineuron.ai in Skype, they'll try to provide the dashboard access quick as possible. So make sure you utilize this opportunity. And now Sudhanshu will be taking up the session, and he'll be discussing how we will be going ahead with this particular session itself. It will be for 3 weeks. So enjoy, learn out of it, and gain as much as knowledge as you can, so that you'll be able to create some data science interviews. Yes, Sudhanshu, you can go ahead with it.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much, Chris. So fine, I think most of you are aware about me and Chris and everyone. And so because many of you are you are already attending our sessions, many of the sessions that we used to conduct. And keeping that in mind, so we came up with this idea. And those who are new for this particular session, so my name is Tanshu Kumar, and I used to manage this entire iNeuron. And apart from that, so like experience wise, so I have worked with the Ernst & Young, and before that it was a Verizon research and development. So for the telematics autonomous car division, and before that was Deloitte. Before that, it was a Wipro. So before establishing this kind of a thing, and I'm in education area since last 4 years, I would say. since last 4 years. So like we have been giving a lot of things to the community, as well as many things we have done so far, so forth. And most of you, I think you are aware about that. And yes, so basically, like we have started our community events basically, and this community event, we have started keeping these things in our mind, that whatever is the pain point people are facing as of now, whatever kind of hurdles people are facing as of now, so we will try to remove those roadblocks, we'll try to remove those hurdles. And this is the like a sequence that we are trying to follow, and today's session is a part of that sequence itself, I would say. So fine, first of all, so welcome everyone to our platform. And today we are going to start with this data science architecture, as well as like a resume building. Now I'll talk about this, like what and all things is going to happen, how it is going to happen. So again, so a couple of people, or most of lots and lots of people has joined from our existing batch as well. So just try to, just information for them. So basically, like all this architecture discussion, all this resume discussions, first round is going to happen over here, and then for the second round, those who are existing students, so for the second round, so there will be a one-to-one in terms of a resume. Those who have joined a community event, so yes, in a generic way, so we are going to discuss about a multiple domain, as we have already published a curriculum, and we are going to follow this entire curriculum for this next 3 weeks, 9 days. And again, it could possible that it is going to take more than 3 weeks of time, because we have included almost like a 20 domain in in a syllabus that we have posted to every one of you. So we are going to discuss, we are going to talk about architecture with respect to our 20 domain, a different domain, like a retail or healthcare, or maybe a supply chain, maybe an insurance domain, or maybe a oil and gas domain. So these are the things that we are going to cover. So today is basically an induction session for the same thing. And here, so in this particular session, so we will see that how this entire things is going to happen for a next 3 weeks of time. So maybe I'll just take first 1 hour of time to talk about all those things, because many of you are already aware about the infrastructure that we used to follow. And I'll even give you all the details about a support and the kind of services that you are going to get out of this one. So here, let me share my screen first of all, and what and all things we are going to cover. So I'll talk about that. So I think I'm assuming that most of you is having this dashboard access, the Canvas dashboard that we have published. If you don't have a dashboard access, so support team, so if you can post a dashboard access link, self-enrollment link in a chat box, I think it will be better. So you can just click over that link, and then you will be able to enroll. That is one thing. So if you will go inside your dashboard, so you will be able to find out a couple of things. So now whatever screen you are able to see as of now, so for sure you will not be able to see the screen. You will be able to see this screen. Actually, this is the student view. So here in this particular screen, so we have already mentioned that all the materials will be uploaded as per the class. So as per this session, so we will keep on uploading all the PPTs and everything, resumes, whatever is required, as the session will progress. Plus we have scheduled this session for 3 days a week. So this session is going to happen on every Sunday, Saturday, and on Tuesday. So for Saturday and Sunday, timing is 3 to 5 p.m. IST, and for a Tuesday, timing is 9 to 11 p.m. IST. Again, back and forth. So maybe we can extend this session for a couple of more weeks. Depends upon like the things that we are going to cover, because whatever syllabus that we have published. So yes, unless and until we are not going to close that syllabus, we'll not close the session. Simple. Plus, I think you all have joined through a Zoom link, and most of the session, most of the community events, we used to make it live on a YouTube. So fine, we will try to make even this particular event live on a YouTube from a next class onwards. And again, so whatever updated Zoom link is required, so we'll update it over here itself, and even before a class. So I think all of you have received a notification, a mail notification from our side. So we will keep on sending you a mail notification as well, with a YouTube link as well as with the Zoom link. Or else, if you're not able to find out a notification, what you can do is you can try to look into your dashboard, and here, so in this particular section, so you will be able to find out a Zoom link. Just click, and then you will be able to join. Now, the syllabus that we have published, so each and every point you will be able to find out in this particular place. And as of now, like I said, so we have not updated any kind of a material. So you're not supposed to worry about that. It's just a non-clickable tab that we have created. So just go through these things. It's completely fine. So it's just a syllabus as of now, nothing else. And again, so whether it's a community event or whether it's a regular classes, so we don't believe in just giving a 1 or 2 days of session, because we even know that like if we are going to give you just 1 or 2 days of session, so it is not going to help you out in any way, basically, because there are enough amount of information which is available over Google, I would say, over a YouTube, and you will be able to get all the information even from there. So we always believe in a full scale delivery, and that's the same thing that we are trying to follow even in all of our community events, whether it's a Python live classes for data science, or whether it's a Tableau Power BI, or there are many more events which we have kept in a pipeline. So back to back, we'll keep on launching those full scale event, and you will be able to avail all of those services. So now course introduction wise, like what is a data science, what is the AI applications, technology which has been used. So each and everything we will be talking about in detail. And plus we are going to talk about a project architecture and design. So and then we will be talking about like how to build a resume, how to build your online profile. So first of all, what motivates us to launch this particular session and why we are conducting this session? So let me clarify these things in front of every one of you. So many of you have done the training from many other platform, I would say. So there are many people who are providing training, who are trying to provide education, who are giving you a project. It's completely fine. There are many people, there are many vendors who are doing that. So what we felt is, so many of you have prepared your resume, or maybe because of certain reasons, so you are not able to get a call. Now, if you will go to LinkedIn, if you will go to Naukri, if you will go to Monster or Indeed or Hiree or any other job portals, so for sure you will be able to find out that there are jobs which is available. So it's not like there is a crisis of a job even in a pandemic situation. Still there is a job. There are a lots of hiring which is going on, a remote hiring, I would say, which is going on. But still many of you are facing an issue that, okay, so I'm not able to get a call. And because this is the first thing after completion of any of the courses from any places, this is the first thing that people look for, that okay, so I should get a call once I will upload a resume. But many of you are not able to get a call, and there must be some reason behind that. So why people are not selecting your resume, there must be some reason. So we will talk about that reason as well. And again, so we are well aware about those particular things, because we are into this industry, we are into this domain, and as part of this industry, so we know that, so whom we should hire and whom we should not, what kind of a resume we should filter and what kind of a resume we should not. So again, those who are a part of industry, we all know about those facts. And again, so this is the same thing we are going to discuss. Plus the another major thing that people generally face is, so suppose you are from a healthcare domain, or suppose you are from a supply chain domain, or maybe from the insurance domain, or maybe from an oil and gas domain. So, or maybe from some kind of a support domain. So you are already working over there. Maybe you have experience of 5 year, 8 year, 10 year, 15 year, 20 year, or maybe you're just a fresher. So in all this possible scenario, so what happens is, so you know how machine learning works, maybe, you know, maybe like how deep learning things works, you know, how maybe reinforcement learning things works in general. Maybe, you know, algorithm, you know, statistics, you know, coding as well. But the thing is, majorly people try to face an issue where they have to explain a project, that how we will be talking about a project, how we are going to cope up with the previous experience that we had. So suppose if I'm working into a healthcare domain, so now in a healthcare domain, so how and how much experience and what kind of experience, what kind of a project, what kind of a technology I'm supposed to project inside my resume. And fine, suppose I have projected all those things inside my resume, when I will go for the interview, so what kind of a question that I can expect, how I should explain my project. If they are talking about a team, if they're talking about a technology stack, if they're talking about a domain knowledge, so how I'm supposed to express all of those things in front of an interviewer. So people generally face a lots and lots of problem in that particular place, and keeping these things in our mind, so we have designed this entire syllabus so that you will not have to struggle at all. Once you will go through each and everything, so you will get to know that, okay, so if I belong from the healthcare domain, so this is how I'm supposed to showcase my resume, this is how I'm supposed to write down my project, this is how a kind of a like a technology which I'm supposed to mention, so this is how my like I'm supposed to align my resume, and then this is what architecture that I had which I'm supposed to discuss, which I'm supposed to talk about in front of a interviewer. So keeping these things in mind, so we have designed this entire module, and this is what we are going to talk about for next 3 weeks, I would say. So let me tell you, and let me talk about some of the sample of like architecture over here. So as you can see, like there is a architecture that we have prepared for you. So architecture we have prepared in terms of like a system architecture, in terms of a DevOps architecture, in terms of a security infrastructure, in terms of a deployment architecture, in terms of each and everything. We are going to focus, we are going to discuss each and every things in bits and pieces, I would say, by taking an example of a different domain. Now again, technology wise, so whenever you will be working into any of the projects, so it's not like just a data science like a domain or data science module you are going to use. There will be many things that we are going to involve. Now, so there will be lots and lots of things which will be involved from the functional side, from the technical side, from the DevOps side, from the cloud side. Many things will be involved. So in this particular session, so we will try to focus on each and everything one by one, and we will talk about like what is a functional architecture, what should be your system architecture, each and everything in very detail. So again, for a healthcare, so how we try to create an architecture into a healthcare domain, how we try to create architecture into a different kind of a domain. So everything we'll be talking about, so that you will get a fair understanding, you will be able to get a fair understanding about each and every steps that we used to follow. And again, people may ask a question that, okay, so what was your data source? What was the kind of a file that you were receiving? Whether that file was available into, or whether you were trying to consume all of those files into a streaming mode, or maybe into a batch mode, or maybe into a mini batch mode, and then what in all kind of operations that you were trying to do on top of those files, and then what in all algorithms that you have applied, what was the end goal, how you were receiving a data from the client basically. So what was your day-to-day job, what was your team size or team distribution? So there are many different kind of questions that people can ask. And again, so how you were trying to integrate a big data or maybe a ETL pipeline, how you were integrating a data science or AI solution, how you were integrating a data analytics solutions on top of that. So we will be talking about each and everything, how you were trying to make sure that your data is secure, what was your retraining approach that you have followed, in what in all circumstances you were trying to deploy the model, in what infrastructure, in what platform you were trying to deploy the model, how frequently you were trying to train your model. So these are the very generic questions that you can expect. And for sure, you should know about this. You should know the answer for this one. And again, you should know about all of those things with respect to your domain. Now, if I'll talk about the insurance domain, so people are trying to use a mini AI solution into an insurance domain. If I'll talk about a customer service itself, so people are trying to use lots of ML, DL, NLP, reinforcement learning solution to provide all of those support to the customers. There are many and there are various products which is possible in all of those domains. Again, if I'll talk about a healthcare, retail, finance, banking, oil and gas, everywhere we are trying to use many kind of solutions, I would say. And yes, you should know about that. Then only you will be able to write all of those things inside your resume, and the same story you will be able to discuss in front of an interviewer. Now, so this is where we are going to focus in this entire, I would say, in this entire discussions. And this is what we are going to talk about in this entire discussion, layer by layer, one by one. So first of all, I'll try to start with a very generic architecture, and then I will go into a specific one, as we have already mentioned inside our syllabus. Now, Coming to the next part, so fine, domain is fine. So this particular part is fine. This is where we are going to talk about a generic architecture. So generic architecture, where we'll try to accommodate a solution from a machine learning side, from a deep learning side, from an NLP side, from the reinforcement side, plus big data will try to integrate, plus a data analytics will try to integrate. So we will try to see that which things comes into which particular places in terms of a functional, in terms of a like a technical architecture, and then in terms of a DevOps, and in terms of a entire infra. Now, the next thing will be like a domain-wise discussion. So as we have already mentioned, a domain, supply chain or retail or healthcare or maybe a security surveillance, what kind of a solutions that we have built, because in a supply chain, retail, in healthcare, security and surveillance, not insurance. So in this domain, so we have built many solutions as a startup. So fine, I need to try to provide education. So we have an academic section, plus we have a product development. So where we try to develop a product, or we try to provide a services to our client. And we have worked into these areas, which I have mentioned over here. Now, insurance wise, so we have not worked into some specific part of the insurance, but yes. So yes, we have done a lot of POCs in this particular area. Again, if I'll talk about banking, so not much, but yeah, many POCs that we have built. So we'll talk about that, banking and finance. If I'll talk about telecom, so yes, we have worked into a few parts, oil and gas. So not extensively, but we have built many solutions which can be used over here. Again, transport side and a sales side. So yes, sales side. So we have a huge capability. Education side, we have a huge capability. Automobile side. So yes, we have worked into a product. So we'll talk about that as well. Manufacturing side. So yes, we have a work in this particular part as well. HR side, if I'll talk about, so yes, how we can apply a AI solution and how people are using an AI infrastructure in their HR solution. So we'll talk about that as well. So whatever domain is a hot domain, I would say, and whatever domain in which people are working frequently, so we tried to implement, or we have tried to accommodate all of these domains inside this one, so that one by one, layer by layer. So we will talk about a domain-wise project, that, okay, so in this domain, this is the project which is available. And again, it will not be just a one project. We will be talking about a multiple project into various domains, because so that it will help you out to write this down inside your resume. And in the similar way, the way we are going to talk about all of those things in this particular section, so in the similar way, you will be able to talk about all of those things when you will go for the interview. Now, the next part will be a resume section. So we always, so like people who are already like our existing students, so they are, I think they are aware about this particular fact, that we always try to conduct a one-to-one resume discussion. So after completion of your entire course over here. So again, in a multiple round, in a 2 round, we used to conduct those things. So in a first round, so we try to build a skeleton of a resume. So a skeleton means, so how your resume should look like, basically what and all things you should write inside your resume, what and all things you should exclude from your resume. If you are talking about some project, if you are talking about some technology, so how you are supposed to showcase those things, what is a significance of a certification in terms of a data science, in terms of AI, in terms of analytics, in terms of a big data, whether you should mention those things or not, what and all projects you should mention, because you can't mention like a sentiment analysis kind of project, you can't mention like a market basket analysis kind of project. So these are very generic things. And again, you can't mention a recommendation system kind of a project. Yes, again, inside that recommendation system, there are various factors which comes into a picture. So these are a very generic thing, and you can't mention all those things inside your resume. And after mentioning those things, you can't expect a call for sure. You have to mention some specific industry grade project you are supposed to write down, you are supposed to explain, and then only it will make your path smooth, so that you will be able to clear a interview. And keeping these things in a mind, so we have a multiple resumes from our past student itself, so even from India and abroad. And we are going to talk about like how you should build your entire profile. So maybe a UI based profile, or maybe a profile based on the conventional approach. So here you will be able to find out that there are many more profiles, so from our previous students, from many other people, for a different experience, starting from a fresher till 20 year. So you will be able to find out various profiles over here, and for the people who have already made a transition into a past, because like I said, so it's been 4 years since we are doing all of those things. We are trying to provide educations into a various technical domain, not only a data science, into almost every data fields, and apart from that, couple of other area as well. So we are going to talk about like how you should prepare your resume. And again, so all of these resume bundles will be available inside. So all of these things will be available inside your dashboard itself. And we will be talking about like what you should write, what you should not write over there, and what kind of things you are supposed to focus on, and what kind of things you are supposed to exclude. So like what and all technology you should mention in terms of a hardware. If I'm talking about like you might have seen the videos before, like starting of the session. So we were playing that videos in which we were trying to talk about, we were trying to show you like object detection, object tracking, or pose estimations with the help of a Jetson Nano, or with the help of a Google Coral or Raspberry Pi 4 Plus. So each and everything we are going to discuss, even in terms of hardware, even in terms like hardware in terms of edge devices. So how we deploy or how we build a solutions in edge devices, how we try to deploy all of those solutions onto edge devices. And whenever it comes to a project part, so how we are supposed to explain a project. Suppose this person has written a project, so what and all things we are supposed to talk about in terms of project. Because whenever you will go for the interview, so what happens in general is, so I'll show you like what and all generic interview questions that you can expect from the people. So again, we have prepared a 30 days interview question as well, and we can claim that, and never happened, I would say. So we can claim that, so no one is going to cross this entire set of the interview question. No one is going to ask any question beyond this particular set that we have created. So whenever you will go for the interview, so the first question people is going to ask you is like, okay, fine, so tell me something about your current project, or like let's talk about your work that you have done in a past. Now, so whenever you're talking about your project, so you should always start with a problem statement, that what kind of a problem that your client was facing, what kind of a solution that you have proposed or your team has proposed, and then how you have worked on those solutions, and many more things which will come in between. So this is how we have prepared this entire interview preparation, I would say. Like a 30 days interview preparation, where we have mentioned more than 350, I would say, questions, so that it will help you out to clear the interview in a smoothest possible way. The next question people can ask you, that what was the size of the data set? Again, size of the data set varies. If I'm building a machine learning solution, or NLP solution, or deep learning solution, or RL solution, or maybe a big data solution, or maybe a data analytics solution, this varies always, and project to project. So you can't give a cost and number. So how you are supposed to talk about a data, what kind of a data set that you were trying to consume, whether it was a structured, unstructured, or semi-structured, or image, or maybe a signals, or maybe a speech, or maybe some other kind of a textual information, each and everything. Now, so that part will come inside data type as well. Now, what is your team size? So suppose if you're trying to deliver a solution, so again, when people ask about, or when people talk about a team size, so you can't say that, no, it's like I have just 5 data scientists, because just with the 5 data scientists, 6 data scientists, or even with the 50 data scientists, you will not be able to deliver the entire project. Maybe you will be able to write some sort of a code into Google Colab, or maybe into a notebook, and then you can host it. But as far as this entire delivery or entire application building procedure is concerned, so there will be a many more team which will be involved. So again, if you just say that, okay, so there was a 5 to 10 or maybe a 50 data scientist who was working into my team, no one is going to buy that argument. Because if you are working inside a team, so for sure, you always work along with the different team as well. There will be a DevOps team, there will be a UI team, there will be a I can say like a testing team, which will be a part of that. There will be an analytics team. There will be a functional team. There will be a domain expert with whom you will be interacting on a daily basis. In general, this is how product delivery happens. So you should talk about all of those things step by step in every contest, and then only people will believe that, okay, fine, so genuinely you have worked into those projects. Now, apart from that, So what is the distribution that you were using? If you were using some kind of Hadoop distribution, so again, inside that, so what kind of a distribution, like a Cloudera or maybe a Hortonworks or maybe a Mappa distribution that you have been using? What was the version of that? What was the cluster size in which you were trying to like host all of your models? Or maybe, so they can even ask a question that what was the GPU or TPU that you have used? Now you should give a very specific answer. If you are just going to give some kind of a generic answer, people will be able to understand that you have never worked into a real-time project. So whenever we talk about a GPU, we should take some name like a Tesla K80 or maybe P4000, P6000, P100 or Xenon processor, or maybe like a Titan X2, I would say. So again, so people can go inside the specification of those GPU. People can even ask you that, okay, fine, so with P6000 or with P100, so what was the time it was taking for this much of the data set? Again, data set could be different. It could be a textual data set. It could be an image data set. And again, so it depends. It always varies data to data that how much time it is going to take. And suppose if you are saying that I have built a model, so you should know the answer of this particular question. And you are supposed to give this particular answer. So you should be ready with those things. Unless and until you are not ready with these things, for sure, you will not be able to answer and people will get to know. So for sure, we all know that like whether you have got a training from somewhere or whether you have worked somewhere and then you are coming for the interview. So if you wanted to showcase yourself as an experienced person, so this is the must known things for each and every one of you. Now, apart from that, so whenever we try to deliver a product or a project or maybe a services, so we always try to build these things into a multiple section. And again, we always try to use a CI/CD kind of a pipeline. Now, again, there are a various more than 100+ CI/CD pipeline that you can build, continuous integration and continuous development. And any organization follows that, including us. Now, so again, inside that one, so there will be a development environment, there will be a UAT environment, there will be a prod environment, or there will be a pre-prod environment. Configuration of each and every environment will be different, but everything will be in sync. Now, people can ask you even those things, that how you were trying to deliver the entire end-to-end project. Maybe as a fresher, they will not ask you this question. Maybe with the guy who is having just 2 to 5 year experience, they will not ask you a question. But if you are working on a manager level, if you're working on a lead level, you can't deny this question. You can't just say that, no, I just have idea about a data science model or data science algorithm or just a statistics. Because as a lead or as a manager, so you are trying to, or as an architect, so you are trying to handle each and everything end to end. Now, if you are not able to answer this question, then who will answer, basically? So you should know about that as well. So this is what we are going to discuss. And again, configuration of a UAT, prod, pre-prod, each and every environment that you should know. And again, it's not a big deal. Once you will go through these things, you will get to know about that. So this is just like a one-time event that like you are supposed to go through it just to make your interview procedure smooth as like possible. Now, so again, people can ask you that how you were trying to handle a failure cases, whether you are trying to maintain some kind of an audit log or not. And if you were trying to maintain an audit log, so what is the procedure of maintaining an incremental audit log? How you were trying to handle a failure cases? What kind of an alarm that you were trying to generate? What kind of an automation that you have done over there? Because whenever we build a product, so these kind of things, we always try to implement in any kind of a situation, in any kind of an environment. So again, this is the answer that you should give each and every time. Now again, so people can ask you a question that what was a data pre-processing technique that you have been using? Now again, if I'll talk about a textual data set, or if I'll talk about a structured data set, if I'll talk about an image data set, if I'll talk about a speech data set, so data pre-processing part is not same as I have projected inside my architecture. By taking a multiple data from a different files over here, you will be able to find out. Again, there will be a multiple data sources from where we try to pull a data. And again, you should know about that as well. There is a multiple procedure by which we try to do a data validation or data enrichment, I would say. So again, you should know about those specific things as well till the name of a file. So till that label, you must be aware about each and everything. And this is how, with respect to one single project, so we have prepared these things, but in this particular session, as we have mentioned, a multiple domain. So here the same discussion is going to happen with respect to a multiple domain. So now it will not be just a single project that we will talking about. It will be a multiple one. And again, you will be able to see a variation in each and every project that we are going to talk about in terms of architecture. And again, depends upon your expertise and depends upon the domain in which you are contributing as of now. So based on that, you can try to pick and choose, basically. And again, it's always good to know about hundreds of architecture, so that going forward you will be able to design best possible architecture, because architectural knowledge never depends upon the domain. It depends upon the kind of a data, a frequency of the data, volume of the data, I would say, the kind of a request that you are supposed to serve, the number of the customer that you are trying to support at in a second, or maybe in an hour, or maybe in a week or month or a year. It depends upon many things. This is how we try to think about the entire end-to-end solution, basically. So we'll be talking about that with respect to a domain. And then failure cases. Yes, I was talking about failure cases. So everywhere, like in every product, there will be a failure cases that you are going to observe. And everywhere we try to follow a different kind of a procedure to handle this kind of a failure cases. Now, so how you have automated this entire end-to-end data processing, what was the scheduler that you have used. There are many more scheduler, and there are many more scheduling technique that we used for the automation. I would say scheduling in terms of giving you a prediction, in terms of giving a forecasting, or scheduling in terms of retraining our model, I would say scheduling in terms of a data enrichment, and many more things which comes into a picture when we talk about scheduling. So fine, we'll talk about that as well. And again, once you will try to host your product on some cloud platform, or maybe into a local infrastructure, so it could possible, and there are a various cloud platform which is available. Now, suppose if I'll ask you that, okay, I have this problem, I'm facing this problem, my client is facing this problem. Now I have this set of a data set, XYZ set of a data set. Now, if I have to solve this client problem, then what will be the best possible infrastructure, or what will be the best possible cloud solution which I will opt for? So again, as an architect, so whenever you're trying to propose a cloud solution, so it's not like it will always be a AWS, GCP, and Azure. And again, out of that, you have to choose basically. But it won't be just three well-known cloud platform. There are other platforms as well that you should know about. Like in terms of a GPU, everyone provides a GPU, but we always know that we are going to, even we are using a GPU. So, but we used to use a GPU basically from the from an organization called as a paper space. And there are many local vendors as well, because whatever cost which is going to come on a GPU will be almost 1/2 or 1/3 as compared to AWS, Azure, and GCP. So again, as an architect, so I have to propose a price as well. I have to propose who is providing a best possible infrastructure as well, like who is providing what kind of a GPU. You should know about that as well as an architect. Then only you will be able to propose, you will be able to document each and everything in your technical specification, which we always do before kicking off, before starting off any kind of a project. Now again, so people can ask you a question that what is your roles and responsibilities? So again, we all know that if we are into a 9 to 5 job, so every day, it's not like we are going to do a similar kind of a task. Maybe, yes, for a couple of you, so there could be a monotonous task, but yes, we all know that as this product grows, as your services is going to grow, or in whatever product, in whatever domain you are working, so as it grows, your roles and responsibility always gets changed. And then this is what you are supposed to discuss. This is what you are supposed to talk about, even in terms in an interview. And again, for sure, interviewer will be interested into those particular things. So you should talk about your roles and responsibility in very detail at that point of a time. Again, your day-to-day task, people can ask you all those things, and again, you should give a realistic answer. You should not say that, okay, fine, so every day I used to I used to connect with the clients, and then I used to talk about the data, because we don't do that on a daily basis. It happens, but it happens for a couple of weeks, I would say, not for the entire I would say project life cycle. Now, so in what and all area you have contributed. Again, so whenever we talk about a product, so it's not like like there is a only machine learning or data ingestion or data validation or data visualization and all those things in which we used to contribute. There are many more responsibility which comes inside any of the project in which you are going to contribute, and you should know about that, so that it will give you a points. It will give you a points to discuss and to talk about all those things in front of a interviewer. Now, so again, there must be some area in which you have contributed a most, like you are very much comfortable, and you should talk about that particular area as well. Now, so again, people can ask you that, okay, fine, so in which area you are most comfortable? So again, there is a machine learning, there is a deep learning, there is a NLP, there is a reinforcement learning, there is a statistical learning. So there are many more things. And again, you can't say that, okay, fine, so I'm good with all those 4. No, or all these 5. No, it never happens. And again, so when people are asking you this question, so they want to know that, okay, fine, so if I'm going to hire you, and if I'm looking for some expert advice, so maybe so because depends upon your expertise into this particular area, so maybe I can align you in that, in some project, basically. So you should know about all of those things as well, and you should know that how I'm supposed to discuss, how I'm supposed to talk about this comfortable area. Now again, big data technology, so you should know about names at least. Forget about like an implementation. So as a data scientist, it's not mandatory, or it's not necessary. Just like a technology name is more than enough. Now, in how many projects you have already worked? So again, in your resume, so it's not like you're going to mention 30-40 projects or whatever POCs or whatever RFPs that you have done. So you are supposed to mention some of the genuine and scalable project, so that it will give you a point to discuss, to talk about these things in an interview. So we'll talk about that as well. Now people can ask you that, okay, so how you were trying to deploy your solution. So yes, there are various ways by which we used to deploy the solution. There is not a single equation by which we try to deploy our solution. So I can't say that, no, I was trying to deploy a solution onto a GCP cloud, or on a Azure cloud, or maybe on like a Heroku platform, or maybe into a Pivotal cloud, just by exposing those things by using a Flask API, or maybe a Django API, or maybe a Clean API, or maybe by a Falcon API. So there are many more ways, and there are many more procedures that we used to follow, and it depends upon a different product in which we are going to work. So people will be expecting that kind of an answer from this particular section. Now, so again, on a daily basis, we all face a challenges. Again, in terms of a learning, yes, for sure, we are going to face a challenges. And again, when we are trying to build a solution, so we are going to face a challenges. Now, I should talk about a challenges, which is a genuine one. And this is what we are going to discuss with respect to all the project as well. Now, what is your expectation? So again, it's not like a generic question, future objective. So yeah, like some people maybe into a senior manager round, or maybe into a HR round, people can ask you this question. Now, why you are leaving your current organization? So I'll just leave this up to you, how you're going to answer this question. And what is the data validation that you were trying to do, enrichment, how you rate yourself into machine learning, deep learning, into a distributed computation, what are the area of machine learning algorithm you have expertise. So again, people can ask you this kind of a question, how you have optimized your entire solution, because building a solution is one thing. So even a fresher can write a code, and even somehow a fresher will be able to build some kind of a solution. But as an expert, we always look for an optimized solution. And again, optimization never happens only from a model perspective. Whenever we talk about a product, so it's not like you will be able to optimize each and everything just from the model part. Yes, there is a way, various ways, I would say, we used to follow to optimize our model, and which can give me a result, which can give me an outcome in a low latency. But optimization happens even from the infrastructure level. Optimization happens even, I would say, from a cloud level. Optimization happens even from a DevOps level, I would say, which is a part of infrastructure itself. Optimization happens even from the data level. Optimization happens even from the model level. So there are many more perspectives in which we use to optimize our solution. And this is where best architecture comes into a picture. And this is what we are going to discuss. We are going to talk about in terms of optimization. Now, so how much time did your model take to get trained? So this is a very generic question that people used to ask every time. And again, so you should not tell that, fine, so it was taking a 2 second, 2 minute, 2 hour, or 2 years of time. for this much of data? So it depends. It depends upon a different kind of a model. It depends upon a data size. It depends upon the equation or maybe algorithm that we are going to pick and choose. It depends upon hardware in which we are going to train our model. So whenever you are going to answer all of those things, so you must be aware about each and every bits and pieces, then only you will be able to give this particular answer. Now, again, people can ask you a question, and this is again a very generic question, that what was a frequency of a retraining of your model, or what was a retraining approach that you are trying to follow? And there are many more retraining approach, and there are many more ways and many more frequencies that we use to pick and choose. But how we try to choose a frequency, how we try to choose a retraining approach, what kind of a retraining approach I should apply in what kind of a data, what kind of a product. So you should know about that as well, because in any deep learning model or in any machine learning model, if you're going to build it, if you're going to deploy these things for once, it's not like it is going to work for years. Sometimes it is just going to work for a couple of weeks. You might have heard about that after this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. So many of the model, many of the forecasting model in a financial organization or many places, so it has failed because it has never seen this kind of a data set that we are trying to push inside a model as of now. So for sure, unless and until we are not trying to derive the retraining approach, we are not going to automate it. So maybe your model will work fine for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 quarter, but for sure it is going to fail at some point of a time. And in machine learning, in deep learning, or in an entire AI, so retraining approach, I would say, is one of the most significant approach that we try to apply in any kind of a application or in any kind of a product. And you should know about that. Like I said, so again, there is no straight line answer for this. It depends and it varies product to product. So if you have implemented one kind of a retraining approach in one product, it doesn't mean that you are going to apply a same kind of a retraining approach in other product as well. And this is what we will be talking about, even in terms of a different domain. Now, so in which mode you have deployed your model? So again, so whenever we are talking about a deployment, so it could possible that we used to deploy in a local mode, in a local server. It could possible that we try to deploy a model into a cloud environment. It could possible that we try to deploy a model into Android devices. I'll show you that as well. I think in the last time I have shown you like a couple of applications that is running in my mobile. Now, apart from that, so we try to deploy a solution into hardware devices as well. Hardware devices in terms of like Google Coral, Jetson Nano, Raspberry Pi, or Intel chip. So there are many more platforms which is available. There are many more edge devices which is available where we try to deploy our solution. And you should know about that as well. So in what mode you have done the deployment? And again, there is a reason that you are supposed to give. If I say that I have deployed my solution into edge devices, I should give a reason. If I say that I have deployed a solution into a cloud or this particular cloud, I should give a reason for sure for the same thing. So you are supposed to talk about and you should know about a deployment as well and the mode of the deployment in which you are going to deploy. And again, there is no straight answer for this one. Product by product, it varies, depends upon the client requirement and depends upon the frequencies, depends upon some kind of a security issue as well. So suppose my client is having an issue that they can't send a data to the cloud. In that case, for sure, either I will try to deploy into a local infrastructure. So again, if I talk about local infrastructure, it could be a server or it could be a edge devices in which we can try to deploy. And again, based on the latency of the model that we are going to get. So this is what we are going to cover again in terms of a domain. Now, what is your area of specialization into a machine learning? So again, you should know about that for the machine learning, for deep learning, for NLP, for reinforcement, for each and everything. So this is how we have prepared one set. We have prepared one set of an answer for one particular project. So this is nothing but attendance system that we have built. For the facial recognitions, we have built an entire portal itself, and we have integrated with many other portals as well for various clients, which we are using into a real time. So these are the answer. These are the which people will be looking for in terms of a project, and keeping these things in our mind. So we have we are going to conduct this entire session and we are going to talk about it. Now, if I'll talk about basic machine learning or generic, any kind of a machine learning, a deep learning, NLP, or a reinforcement learning, question and answer. So each and every question and answer is already documented in a best possible way, I would say. And I will be talking about that as well. So we have ran the campaign 5 months back. So in many more social media platform, and where we have posted all of those things. Now, so in this session, so I will be talking about like, okay, so these are the technical interview that people can ask. And this is how you are supposed to give an answer. Again, it could possible that people can ask you a scenario-based question. Scenario-based question means, so they will tell you that, okay, fine. So this is the data set. This is the problem that client is facing. Now tell me like what kind of a solution you are going to build. So you are supposed to talk about the entire process, entire flow that you are going to follow to build, to design the solution in terms of every aspect. So this is what this is how we have documented each and everything, and I will be talking about those things in terms of a live session over here. So this is an overview of this entire things, guys. So first of all, like I told you, so I will try to start from this particular architecture, which I always do in all of my sessions. So people who have already attended my previous session, so I think they are aware about that. So again, this is one of the supply chain related project which we have done a long time back, and it was one of the biggest project, I would say, in a supply chain that we have done, and it was actually awesome. So once I'll talk about these things one by one, layer by layer, you will get to know about that. And again, so this is a functional architecture. Again, there is a technical architecture as well, which gets involved, and based on the same theme. So whatever machine learning project that we have built, so we have built a same project. So whatever code we used to share in our live classes. So people who are already a part of machine learning, so you must have seen a code. So whatever code that we have shared with you for a 10+ project that we have already mentioned inside your dashboard. So each and every project is based on a similar kind of a theme, I would say. So like an entire end-to-end, starting from a data ingestion operation till a model deployment operation. So we are trying to follow a same thing, and we have automated almost everything, even in your project that we have already given you for the existing student. So people who have joined from the existing class, people who have joined from like YouTube or from a LinkedIn. So yes, for sure, you will not be aware about that. We completely understand your concern. And yes, so through architecture, so I will try to clarify your doubts, and maybe a couple of projects. So we are planning to open source. So at the end of this session, so we will try to open source couple of projects as well. But yes, to understand that project, unless and until you don't have a strong capability into a machine learning, deep learning, or in terms of a deployment, it's almost near to impossible to implement or to replicate the project that we are going to give you. It's not possible at all. So I think people who have already like participated or who have already enrolled, so they are aware about that, because they are already working into those kind of things. So this is just like an introduction, guys, that what we are going to do in this entire session, and then we will come to this particular section. Again, so we will be talking about like how you will be able to build a online profile, because online profile matters. And again, so whatever project you are going to mention is not going to give you a very good impression if I'll try to compare a same thing with your online profile. Because in online profile, so people will be able to see your work directly. Suppose if I have 2 resumes, so in one guy have written all the project, mentioned all the project into a best possible way. And again, in another resume, so again, this guy has done the same thing. But what the other guy has done is, so he has mentioned or she has mentioned online profile in terms of their GitHub repository. And they have mentioned a genuine project over there, not just like an open source project or maybe a project from some institute or somewhere. So if that person has mentioned a POC or RFPs or some kind of a genuine project, and if I look into that, if I'm able to get a feel that, okay, fine, so these projects are genuine, so for sure, my priority will be a resume 2 instead of giving a priority to resume 1. Again, so we keep on conducting multiple challenges as well. recently, so we have closed a chatbot challenge, and again, so we have launched a challenge. Again, the mail that you have received, so you must have received a link for the challenge as well. You can participate over here. So again, so almost like 22,000 people are participating in challenges, and these are the winner of NLP challenges. So you will be able to see all of those winners over here. And again, so in our YouTube channel, so if you will go to our iNeuron YouTube channel, so you will be able to find out that there are like a videos and there are feedback, there are testimonials which is available from this challenge winner as well. So what we used to do is, and what we always prefer to do is, so we keep on conducting the challenges, and here our challenge is a little bit different, I would say. So here, so we never try to focus on just a machine learning. So we always try to focus on an entire application building, because we completely and we clearly understand that if you just know an algorithm, that is not going to work. Simple. Just by knowing an algorithm, you are not going to qualify in any kind of an interview. So unless and until you are not going to showcase your expertise into an entire project architecture, unless and until you are not going to deliver, or you're not going to talk about the entire project, it is not going to create that kind of a wow in front of an interviewer. But if successfully, if you are able to deliver, or if you're able to talk about your project in terms of everything, anyone will believe that yes, you have worked into that project. And this is a place where most of you are lagging, even after having a lots of information into a machine learning or deep learning, lots of expertise or experience into a machine learning or deep learning. But this is the place where most of you are gets failed, and this is where, so we are trying to fill a gap, I would say. So these are just a chatbot winner. So we have just announced like a couple of days on 8th May. So we have released these videos, and before that, so before I think on 6th or 5th of May, so we have announced this winner. So we keep on launching a challenges. You can participate in the challenges. For that, you can just go over here, and this is like a 36 days remain. You can go over here and you can try to sign up. First of all, if you have already signed up, then you can try to log in, and then you will be able to go through different problem statement. We have mentioned each and everything. So we are giving you the overview, descriptions. We are giving you a solution requirement. So what kind of a solution that we are looking for. So we are just not looking for a code from your side. We are looking for the entire application, because even in our entire curriculum, so we not only try to deliver a code, because we know that anyone can do that. It's completely fine. So code is one aspect that we try to cover for sure. But apart from that, I would say, so apart from that, so we try to build and develop an end-to-end application. We believe into a application building, not just in terms of a code delivery, and even the challenges that we are going to launch, or the challenges that we have already launched. So that is basically based on the same theme that I'm talking about. Again, timeline is given over here. Price is also given over here. So again, so in this challenge, so we have given you 3 challenges: challenge 1, challenge 2, challenge 3. You can pick any of these challenges, any of. So suppose if you're going to pick challenge 1, so again here, so we have given you a problem descriptions in this documentation. Again, we have given you a data set. So you can just click over here, and then you will be able to download the data set. You will be able to download this documentation in which problem statement is mentioned. And then end to end, you have to build an application. You have to productionize it, and then you have to submit it. So what in all expectations that we have, so we have already mentioned all the expectation inside a solution requirement. So you can go through a solution requirement documentation, and you will get to know about that. Now, apart from that, so rules and regulations we have already mentioned. Again, so challenge 1, again, so in every challenge 1, 2, and 3. So we have mentioned a data set, we have mentioned a problem statement in this particular place. So if you think that, okay, fine, so you are good with the machine learning, you can go ahead and try to attempt the challenges, and let's see so how many of you are able to solve any of these challenges. Challenge 1, 2, or 3, any of these things. And again, so there is a submission portal as well, so you can try to submit it. So if you're trying to submit a challenge 1, so inside a challenge 1 there are 3 problem statement. So you have to build it as an application, you have to productionize it on a cloud services, and then so you're supposed to build the entire end-to-end testing module as well, and then you are supposed to submit it. Then only I can say that, okay, fine, it's a end-to-end application which anyone can use at any point of a time. So here only your machine learning algorithm knowledge is not sufficient, because code is already available. And again, so yes, accuracy will be one of the criteria. latency will be one of the criteria. Based on that, we are going to evaluate. So even evaluation criteria we have mentioned over here. So each and every rules and regulation evaluation criteria we have mentioned in this particular place. FNQ, terms and conditions, so everything we have mentioned in this portal itself. So if you will try to go through this portal, you will get to know about that. So again, the mail which I have sent you, in that mail it's already available, and from a support team. So I think support team. So can you please ping this URL in the chat box?
No, sure.
Yeah, fine. So you will get this these things as well. So yes, just try to attend these challenges and parallelly. So let's try to see how this session is going to happen for next 3 weeks. So yes, parallelly we are conducting this Tableau session as well, Tableau, Power BI and Python, which is a community event that we are trying to conduct. So if you are already attending it, if you're not attending it, it's completely fine. So you have a link in your mail, so you can try to enroll for that one, and you can start attempting, because everything is a live class itself. Yes, one more thing. So this is the dashboard that you have. Now, whatever discussions we are going to do, so every discussion is going to be a recorded one. Even today's discussion is a recorded one. And within 24 hours, this is what we claim. So within 24 hours, recordings will be available. All of those materials, if we are going to talk about some PPTs, mostly I will not be using any of the PPTs. So generally I don't follow a PPTs, I would say. So mostly I will be drawing all the architecture step by step, and I will try to show you. And again, so there are videos of the architecture which is available on our YouTube channel as well. You can go through that and you will get a look and feel that how we try to discuss an architecture in the batches, in regular batches. Now, so recordings will be available within 24 hours in your dashboard itself. If we are going to discuss, if we are going to talk about PPTs or something, even those things will be available over here. If I'm going to show you some code, even that code will be available over here. Because generally this session is going to be a theoretical one, not a coding part will be involved, because out of nowhere I can't talk about the coding over here, because many of you are not aware about the basic of it, and so it will be very difficult. So here it's the architecture based discussions, I would say. So everything will be available inside your dashboard itself. That's the one thing. The second thing is, so if you have any kind of a concern, if you have any kind of a confusion, so you can try to drop us a mail through your Canvas portal itself. So if you will go to your inbox, you will be able to, so we will activate this particular one for you. So you will be able to drop a mail to us. So if I'll leave this student view, so you will be able to find out that you can try to drop us a mail through your dashboard itself, and for sure, so we are going to revert back within 24 hours to 36 hours. So this is the timeline that we used to give for any kind of a mail that you are going to send it to us in kind of any concern, I would say. Plus in your dashboard itself, so I was talking about a resume. So I'm going to upload a resume starting from a fresher till 20-year experience. So each and every kind of a resume templates will be available after having discussions on a project architecture. So there will be enough amount of resume which will be available for a variety of the templates. So you are not even supposed to worry about that, how my resume or how my template should look like. And it's not just a single resume that we are going to mention in your portal. So there will be more than 30 to 40 resume starting from a 0 experience, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, 13, 15, and then 17, 20. So this is how we have broken down this entire, I would say, experience. And with all of those experiences, sample resume will be available, but still in our resume discussion, so we'll talk about a specific one. And again, those are the resume of people who have already cleared an interview, maybe a 6 month back, a year back, a 2 year back. So from everyone's resumes are available, and we are going to upload that resume in this particular section. Once we'll try to reach out this particular section. So like I have already mentioned over here, that all the materials will be updated as per the class. So recordings will be available, materials will be available, resumes will be available for all the experienced people, for all the experiences, I would say, in your dashboard itself. You can drop us a mail. Apart from that, you can drop us a mail. Apart from that, so there is a live support. I think many of you are availing those facility. So we used to provide a live support for our regular students as well as for any kind of a community services. So we completely believe that you need a one-to-one interaction sometime. you need sometime a quick response. You must be facing some kind of a challenges in terms of a discussion that we are going to do. So you will be able to avail a live support itself. Again, based on the discussions that we are going to do in a class. Again, so you can't come up with, because we have seen in a live support that many people came up with their own company problem and they asked us to solve it. And yes, we do solve those things for a couple of people, but unless and until you are not going to build a solution by 50%, so we are not even going to touch those solutions or touch those things, because what we believe is like, today we are going to build a solution for you, but what about tomorrow? So tomorrow you will not be able to do that. So we always try to push our people to solve all of those things by themselves. And so suppose if you are a part of this batch, you will be able to ask any question related to anything that we have mentioned in this particular batch. This is the restriction that we used to put in our live support. So suppose if you are a part of deep learning batches, you can ask any question with respect to your any deep learning things. There is no problem. Any algorithm, any mathematical concept, you can just ask it. People will give you a response immediately. You can expect a immediate response. Now again, so support wise, live support wise, so we used to provide a live support over Skype. So you have to install a Skype. If you have not installed a Skype, people who are already working across the industry, so I think they already have a Skype. So Skype ID is suport@ineuron.ai. Again, so we have already pinged you a support@ineuron.ai email ID in your chat box as well. So you can try to ping us over a Skype and you can ask any question related to a batch. So we have a multiple batches. So again, so you are, suppose if you're a part of this particular batch, so yes, you can ask any question with respect to this particular batch and we are going to give you answer immediately. So this is the live support that we used to provide to 10,000 plus people, I would say, at a time in a single day itself. So even you will be able to avail this kind of a services. We don't have any issue. And yes, feel free to reach out to our live support team and try to avoid unnecessary questions. And yeah. And sooner or later, so you will get to know about our infrastructure as well, entire infrastructure that we used to follow. And yeah, so this is the dashboard access we have given to you, and each and every notification you are going to receive from your dashboard, each and every material, each and every recordings, each and every resumes for this section. So you are going to receive in this dashboard itself as per the class that we have mentioned. So as we progress inside the class, everything will be updated, and people who are attending other classes, so I think they are aware about that. So this is the live support that we used to provide. Apart from that, so there is a Q&A session you will be able to find out. So those who have joined through a Zoom, so there is a Q&A session which is available, and with me you will be able to find out that there are many more panelists who used to sit. Now, so all of them are a part of our development team. You can post any kind of a relevant question in between a live session itself. You're not even supposed to wait for a session to get completed and then you can ask question. You can ask question anytime. We don't have any issue. And people who are sitting with me, so they will try to answer each and everything then and there itself. So you can just try to feel free to post any kind of a question over here. And at the end of every session, so I will try to unmute you. A couple of questions I will try to take as a live as well. So me and Chris will try to take as many questions as possible in a live session as well. So these are the kind of a support that we are going to provide you in terms of a live support, in terms of a Q&A, in terms of a mail support, I would say, or like in terms of a material and in terms of each and everything like a recording. So even if you will miss a classes, it's not to worry about that. So you will be able to get a recording. You can go through a dashboard, you can watch it, and then you can come for the next classes. We don't have any issue. We don't have any concern with respect to those things. So I think I have made myself very much clear with respect to this particular session, which is going to happen. And in the same way, so the way we are talking about these things as of now, so in the same way, in the similar way, we are going to deliver the entire session. And again, so we have given a projection of a 3-week, I would say. So 3 week means 9 classes, but if it is going to take more than 3 weeks, so we are not going to close this entire discussion unless and until we are not going to cover this entire syllabus that we have mentioned in the similar way. And there is no pre-recorded videos which will be available inside your dashboard. So in machine learning, in deep learning, so yes, we try to provide pre-recorded videos, but in this one, there won't be any pre-recorded videos. We are going to provide you. Everything is going to be alive. You can join, you can attend it. Yes, after a class, recordings will be available within 24 hours. It will be uploaded inside your dashboard itself. So I think I have made my things very clear. And this is all about this induction session. So because whenever we try to launch any kind of event or any kind of a batches, so I always try to conduct induction session on a very first day, so that you will get to know about things which is going to happen. Because unless and until you're not aware about the entire support infrastructure or the way we are going to conduct a training or how the things is going to happen, so for sure you will not be able to build, or you will not be able to develop an interest. And that's the reason. So every session, so every first session will be an induction session. We used to keep that as an induction session. So this is all about, guys, like an induction session. You will get to know about many more things about Iron, about me and everyone, and about our support as well going forward. So fine, we are going to take a couple of questions. So Chris, are you there?
Yes, Himanshu.
Yeah, so I think we can take some question, right? And from our next class onwards, so we can start taking a regular classes. Yeah. So fine, guys, there is a raise hand option that you will be able to find out. So you can try to raise your hand one by one. So those who is having a questions, we are going to unmute you. Again, there is an option available over here in which you can try to share a screen. There is an option available over here where we can try to take a control of your screen from here itself. So whatever happens into a physical classroom, so where like a mentor will be live, and then you will be able to do a discussions into a live mode, face to face. So similar kind of experience we try to give in all of the classes. You can watch our YouTube videos. So all the videos you will be able to find out has been recorded into a similar way. All the classes has been taken into a similar way. So that you will not feel a gap in between a physical classroom and a live classroom, because many things that, okay, it's an online class, so there won't be much interaction. So we understand that concern as well, and keeping that thing in mind, so we always try to keep it as interactive as possible. And yeah, so we can take a system control as well. You can try to share the screen as well. So many things we can do through this platform. So fine, guys, maybe I can start unmuting you couple of people, and then you can start asking questions. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hello.
And again, so most of the question will be a repetitive one after some time. So just try to
Hello.
Yeah, so instead of doing hello, right? So just wait and let me finish. So basically, most of the question will be a repetitive one. So try to avoid a repetitive question. So in that way, so you will try to save my time as well as your time. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Hello.
Hi, Sudan.
Yeah. Subham, go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Sir, in ML challenge,
Yeah.
in challenge 1, there are 3 problems.
Yeah.
We have to do all of the 3, then submit it, and
yeah, you have to do all the 3. Challenge 1 means challenge. One challenge means all the 3 problems you have to solve, and then you have to submit it.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, go ahead, Pranita.
My question is, so I'm working, it's been 2 years that I'm working, and from the past 6 months or something, I've started preparing myself for data science domain for a career switch.
Okay.
So, and I've also taken up the other 2 courses like Python and Power BI and W.
Okay.
So, how difficult or it's not difficult for me to switch domain since I'm not from the.
Okay, so difficulty wise, so it's not difficult. So it needs a couple of months of dedication for sure. It's not that easy, or it's not that tough, I would say. And again, I can't claim that within a 2 week you can become a data scientist. Simple.
Yes.
So I don't claim all those things. Yes, many people used to claim that let's see how to become a data scientist in 2 weeks, which is not feasible. You can't show me even a single example where people can become a data scientist within 2 weeks. So yes, I think community events, you are already participating to a community events, Python and W, right?
Yes.
And but yeah, as far as data science is concerned, so unless and until you don't have
so do you think these 3 courses will
no,
will definitely help me in the process?
in the process, yes, it is going to help you out. But
Okay.
as a data scientist, you should know about a machine learning in depth, deep learning in depth. You must have done some project end to end. When I say project, it's not a project into a Jupyter notebook, right?
Yeah,
Or it's not a project which
yeah,
is
I
available.
understand that.
It's a full scale
Yes.
project. So you can go and you can watch some of the recordings which we have already published from a live class itself, right? Not one or two, many, I think. Many recordings which we have published. So that is called as actually project, the entire application that we used
So
to
in
build.
case we haven't done any end-to-end project like you said, and we've done like smaller ones in Jupyter Notebook or Spider, so
Yeah,
will
that will
this
not work,
course
man.
be helpful?
No,
This data
no, man.
science project architecture will be helpful for
See,
that?
in data science architecture, so I'm not going to get into a coding part first of all. So in my regular
Okay.
classes, I used to go for the coding part, right? In
Okay.
architecture, so I will not even try to touch a single code in this particular cases. So that is a part of your DLML. Yes, we discuss like a line by line, each and every code we try to discuss here. My whole idea, because if I'll start talking about the architecture, because to finish one project, it takes almost like 3 to 4 classes for us, right? 3 to 4
Yes.
classes itself. Again, here we have mentioned 20, right? So architecture wise, I will be talking about. Application wise, I will be talking about like what in all possible applications are there, what in all architecture you should follow, what in all flow should be there. So I will be talking about those things, but no, I'll not touch even a code, or I will not show you even a single deployment over here. I'll restrict myself just till the architecture.
But the deployment will be shown in the other Python course, is it?
So Python project deployment, basically, not a
Okay.
machine
Okay.
learning. So there is a machine learning project deployment which happens. There is a deep learning project deployment which happens. There is a NLP deployment happens. So Python deployment we are going to show you, because we have already mentioned that, right? But yeah, so there are a multi phases of deployment like I have discussed. So just for that particular courses, whatever syllabus that we have published, we'll try to restrict ourselves till that syllabus, and whatever we have to cover into other one, yeah, we'll cover.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm Govind Malik, and sir, actually, I'm pursuing a course in machine learning at some institute in Hyderabad. And sir, actually, yeah, every institute has a list of projects that they will be going to. They'll make us do those projects, but sir, like what I hope that they won't be like the end-to-end project thing. It won't be like that.
Yeah, generally people used to showcase a project in a Jupyter notebook. They say that, okay, fine, this is the project, keep it, take it, and then write it down inside a resume, right? This not happens basically on industry. That is not going to work. So
Yes,
here
that.
I'll show you the overview. And again, like in our ML, in our DL, so we have a project with a code that you will be able to get if you are a part of that. Otherwise, so here, like I already mentioned, so whatever syllabus I have mentioned inside this one, so I'm going to cover those part again. So if I'll talk about ML, so in our ML part, so you will be able to find out a multiple project. In DL part, there are multiple projects which we used to mention, 10 in a DL, more than 20 in a NLP, more than 30 plus. So basically like all the codes which we used to publish over here, project by project.
Okay, and sir, like I have enrolled for the Python course also. So in the like you were answering to the previous person that in that will you be showing that how to do the end-to-end
Python,
have
just a Python project, not a ML. ML is
yeah,
not a part of
for
that.
the
So
Python project, like it will
just
give me a basic idea of how to proceed
yeah,
with that.
for Python project, yes, it is going to happen, but not an ML project. Not
Yeah,
going to happen.
okay, that's it.
Yeah,
That's also. Thank you.
yeah.
Sudhanshu, most of the industry grade projects are being deployed in the cloud. I have a bit knowledge about Azure cloud. So in Azure, we have different services for batch ingestion or IoT hub or Azure Stream Analytics,
Yes.
etc. Similarly, even AWS has some of the things. Are there any other cloud options which
Google
are
Cloud
also
is,
available?
yeah, Google Cloud is there,
Yeah,
Pivotal Cloud is, Google Cloud is there, Pivotal Cloud is there, Oracle Cloud is there, IBM Cloud is there, Alibaba Cloud is there.
But when it comes to the expandability of the project, is it like
AWS,
mandatory
yeah,
AWS and Azure?
AWS, Azure, GCP, IBM, Bluemix, Pivotal, everywhere you will be able to expand it, and almost all the cloud platform is going to provide you all kind of feature. So you're talking about basically like a IoT device integration, IoT analytics you were
Yes,
talking about,
yes,
or you were talking about a batch ingestion of the data set. You're talking about
yes.
instances which they used to provide. You can talk about maybe different kind of analytics tool that they used to provide. So in
Yeah.
every cloud platform, all of these things are available, I would say, and yes, you will be able to know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Sudhanshu. Durga.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask question.
In our courses, basically cloud wise, so in our regular courses, so we used to cover 5 clouds just for information, I would say. So we used to cover a GCP, we used to cover a Azure, we used to cover like a AWS, we used to cover Pivotal, and we used to cover Heroku. Heroku is a child, I would say.
Yeah.
So actual deployment happens from the Pivotal, GCP, Azure, and AWS. So if you will talk about this project, so or even machine learning, right, from the very first machine learning algorithm itself. So if I try to show you the syllabus, the code that we used to share with the people. So like it's a Heroku, I would say like okay. So here, if I'll try to expand this section. So even from the very first algorithm, so machine learning in AWS, Azure, GCP, Heroku, Pivotal. So we always try to follow 5 cloud platform, and through 5 cloud platform, we always try to show the deployment, and like everything is available, code is available in a dashboard, not in yours. I'm talking about just a regular batches.
Continue to previous question, Sudhanshu.
Yeah.
How important to learn cloud technology for data science?
See, cloud means as a data scientist, you are not supposed to know about the entire cloud part. So again, in the cloud part, so cloud you can learn in terms of an admin, cloud you can learn in terms of an architect, cloud you can learn just in terms of a developer, who will be doing just a deployment. Right? So there are various aspects. No one is asking you as a data scientist that you should be expert with the cloud and you should know each and every services. No. As a data scientist, you are going to use a couple of services, I would say, right? From any of the cloud platform. You should know about that. You should know that how I will be able to host my model, how I will be able to expose my model as an API, how I will be able to consume those API into a different platform. It could be a iOS application, Android application, it could be a web application, it could be any other kind of a server, or it could be any other kind of a IoT devices. So this is what our expectation will be. It's not like you should be expert into a cloud itself. And again, in our courses, so there is no such cloud expertise or cloud things we used to talk about. We used to showcase a deployment, and we used to teach deployment in terms of a cloud. I would say development in terms of a cloud. We used to talk about. Apart from that, it's not like you should not know about the entire AWS, because AWS itself is a huge, Azure itself is a huge, GCP itself is a huge, basically. So you should not know about the cloud as an admin. I would say you should know about cloud as just a deployment platform. So again, you should know that, okay, fine. So what all deployment platforms are available? How I will be able to host my solution? How I will be able to do all the configuration with different things in which we are going to consume those services, basically. So this is in this way, we always talk about the cloud in our MLDL or anywhere.
Okay, I have one more question. We can embed the visuals or Tableau visuals or Power BI visuals in our web applications, right?
Yes.
So I heard that there is no SS4 support for MX10 databases in Power BI. Is that true?
So I think I'll have to check with the latest release. So maybe in a latest release, so they have done that. If they have not done that, so in that case, generally what we used to do is, so if there is no support, so in that case, we try to expose as an API. And again, inside a Tableau Power BI, Tableau or Power BI, so in both the places, there is an option given where you will be able to consume APIs, basically a custom APIs that you are going to build, and any databases we can expose. So we can try to write a wrapper on top of that. Any databases we can try to expose as an API, so we can consume it. But yes, so specific to your databases, so I'm not aware about with respect to a current release. So maybe in a current release, so they have done that. Even if they have not done that, so we are not supposed to worry about it. It's
actually we are using that MySQL databases.
Okay.
So we are trying to
no, again, if I'll talk about a Power BI, right? So almost every kind of a connectors is already available. If I'll try to open up my Power BI desktop, right? So most of the connectors, most of the platform is already given. If it is not given, no need to worry about that. I don't think that it's a big headache, I would say. Okay. Yeah. Next question, please.
I have two questions.
Go ahead, one by one.
So, thanks for this session, and you have explained that our resume should also have the online platform like GitHub connecting the projects and all. And nowadays I think the main source of first phase of resume screening and all is LinkedIn. So can you also share the good practices where we can connect?
I'll talk about that. Yes, yes. For see, what happens is
great.
in general in our regular classes, so we try to talk about a resume in a first phase, then second phase. So in second phase, so we talk about their profile itself, their profile over the Naukri. So how they are maintaining their profile. So I always talk about that as well. That how you're trying to maintain a profile, what you should write over there, what you should not. Plus LinkedIn, plus Indeed, plus Monster. So it's not just a one platform that we used to cover. When I say like it's like a resume building session, a project architecture discussion session, it means that it's an end-to-end.
Great. Another question is, I'm from ML and NLP session. The classes are going good. I'm interested to participate in challenges. Chatbot I tried, I failed, and this one is also it's beyond my knowledge right now.
So it seems that so it proves that you have to practice more, right? So it proves that like you have to like invest like a couple of months of dedication, and after that, so for sure.
I'm following the course content, but if I am on par with the courses right now, ML and NLP, but I don't feel even I'm a starter for the challenges.
No,
They're really tough.
Fine, start it. That's the reason. So we have posted this challenge, right? And again, so if I'll talk about this ML challenge, right? So this ML challenge is exactly same as the ML project that we have given in your dashboard. So I think if you are just a part of DL or ML batch,
both.
So which batch? ML?
ML 28th and 18th April.
Then for sure, sir, how you will be able to participate in your batch? Just Python is going on, right? So it will take time to go through that one.
Will I get? Will these challenges continue?
Recording is already available. So if you wanted to complete it in a fast track, complete it in a fast track, and then attend the challenges. Okay, project recording is also available.
What about the future? If I want to participate in challenges and be a topper.
We keep on launching a multiple challenge. This is not a last challenge. This is not the first one, right? So we keep on launching challenges in ML, DL, and NLP. Many things will come into picture. Don't worry. So
thanks.
Recently we have closed NLP like a chatbot challenge, right? So in the similar way. So don't worry. And as a part of ML 28, March 28. So I think you should do a fast track. Then only you will be able to attempt the challenges.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. One by one.
As a data scientist, like as you mentioned, there are NLP, ML, deep learning,
DL, reinforcement, stats.
Like as a data scientist, is it needed? You need to know everything as well as NLP as well as deep learning, or it can be a specification.
I'll tell you a trend. 5 years back. Right, so 5 years back, so people was looking for someone who is very good with the statistics, and you must have seen that 5 years back, so they were not hiring even anyone as a developer on a junior level, right? All of them were hiring some kind of PhDs or MTech guys, minimum masters or PhDs. Now, so you must have seen a trend 3 years back that they have started hiring some senior people. Now, 2 years back, you must have seen that they have started hiring even a freshers, right? And even now, so everyone is taking up freshers, I would say. So industry trend has changed. And again, if I'll talk about ML, DL, NLP, and RL, so 5 years back, so people was looking for someone who is having a very good grip in statistics. Again, stats, I would say like it's always a heart of data science. Without that, I think like we will not be able to justify a data science role itself. Without mathematics, so I always say, even if you don't know coding, it's completely fine. Even if you don't know a single line of a coding, it's completely fine. Still, you can claim yourself as a data scientist if you're very good with the mathematics and algorithm. But if you just know coding, if you're very good with the coding, but if you don't know algorithm and mathematics, you're not in a position to claim yourself as a data scientist. This is what I believe. Simple. This is my personal thought. So data science simply means that algorithm and mathematics, as simple as that, and architecture. So basically, like a trend has changed. People was looking for a machine learning. Now, machine learning is the most things that you should know. But apart from that, so DL as well as NLP, and again, NLP not in terms of just analytical libraries, or I would say Stanford NLP libraries, or I would say like a Spacey libraries or agency libraries, you are supposed to know. No. NLP now you're supposed to know in terms of a transfer learning model, like a BERT, Elmo, GPT-1, GPT-2, Megatron, Excel, and all those Megatron Excel. So in this kind of things, where we talk about encoder, decoder, autoencoder, transformers, I would say, or attention-based model, we should talk about. Because this is a new breakthrough that we have made in last 2 years. Whatever development has happened in last 2 years itself. Before that, these things were not even available. You can go and check the paper's date, so you will be able to, you will get to know. The same thing we used to talk about in a class. So trend had changed. Now, so again, in a machine learning, 5 years back, there was no AutoML libraries which was available. Now, in a market, there are many AutoML libraries which is available, like a S2.ai, PyCaret, AutoML scikit-learn is available. Now, Teapot is available. So these are the AutoML libraries which is available. So trend is changing. Now, machine learning is the must things. You should know machine learning for sure. You should know all the algorithm in a regression, classification, clustering. At least 15 to 20 algorithm is a must with mathematics, not just implementation. Because we all know that implementation wise, it's just one line of a code, basically, in which we try to call the model, pass the data set after pre-processing the data set, and then build a model and bingo. But no. So you should know about all those things in terms of algorithm. Now, the new thing is a deep learning and a NLP. And again, so whenever I talk about the NLP, make sure that not just in terms of a library, you should know about all those things in depth, in detail, in terms of everything. So deep learning and NLP is the must, and ML will be like an expected one. People will think that you should know, like ML. So this is the market trend which is going on, and yes, it keeps on changing. So like it was very easy for us to get into a data science industry 5 years back. Now it's a little bit difficult because expectation is high. People are expecting that, okay, you should know ML, DL, NLP. And again, at the same point of a time, it's not that tough. Yes, for sure, within 2 weeks, you can't do the preparation. You can't go after the preparation, for sure. It takes time. It takes time to prepare yourself for the algorithm, mathematics. It takes time to build a product, an application, and then only you will be eligible for that. And it takes 4 to 5 months of dedication at minimum. At minimum, I would say a continuous dedication needs. But after that, I have seen thousands of cases. It's not at all impossible. People have done that, and anyone can do it from any kind of a background, from where they belong to, with any kind of a experience. So I think that will be my answer. I think
sorry,
I'm able to answer
I can
your
answer
similar question I have.
Okay, so then why you're asking if you have similar question?
No.
Yes, no. I am from automotive background.
Okay.
And I have 8 years of experience into manufacturing units on service unit, and I have exposure in statistics as well, in hypothesis and sigma theory. But I'm confused.
Hypothesis is not the statistics, sir. So hypothesis is just a one chapter in the statistics.
Yes. I know. There are some other chapters as well, but I'm just explaining myself. So would you?
By the way, I have done my statistics, PGDM in statistics. You can check my LinkedIn profile.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So is there any scope for me in this?
So statistics only is not going to work, I would say. So a statistical model is going to work. Yes. So you should know about that, because like I told you, so see, stats or mathematics is basically a heart of data science. Without that, you can't even claim yourself as a data scientist. Simple. Many people do that, but yeah, I don't think that it's like a proper way of claiming themselves as a data scientist, because it's a heart. Without mathematics, there is no data science. So code wise, even if you don't know about the coding, but yeah, so only stats will not work. Algorithm, implementation, product development, architecture designing, all those things should come into a picture. And I think in next 3 weeks, these things will be much more clear.
Hi Sudhanshu, to become a data scientist, what are the sequence of steps we have to follow? I mean, first
ML,
we have to plan.
ML, DL, NLP. Now, when you are talking about ML, so like stats should come into a picture, and again with deployment and application building, end to end. ML end to end, DL end to end, and NLP end to end. This is the
Python. Where will come to the picture in that case?
Python is, I would say, just a language, right? So instead of learning Python, you can try to write a code in ML, Java, or maybe C, C++. Yes, Python is one of the famous coding platform, but a language is nothing. Language is not called as a data science. Even in a ML, so we try to talk about a Python end-to-end. Even we have released a community service for a Python, but still Python is just a language, right? So language is not a data science. Language just gives you a capability to build an application, or like whatever thoughts you have in terms of statistics, in terms of algorithm. So it just helps you out to convert those things in terms of application. Right? So you can use any other languages. So yes, Python is one of the most popular and easiest language as compared to Java, Scala, or C, C++, or C#, or Julia, right? So like, don't try to consider a language as a part of a data science. Many people do that. I know many people even suggest that you should learn Python and R and many more languages, right? But I don't see a language in the same way. I just see language as a simple tool to implement or to convert my thoughts in a application. This is how I see things. So again, different people will be having a different perspective, but this is how my perspective works. So it's just my personal opinion, I would say, and this is how I see a language. So I don't consider any of the language as a part of a data science at all. Doesn't matter what language with how much depth you know. So it's not a data science at all. So data science is a algo mathematics architecture.
Sudhanshu?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hi, Sudhanshu.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm having around 10 years of experience, and it's into C++.
Okay.
So I just wanted to understand, how do to get into this data science domain?
First of all, sir, start learning ML, DL. Again, start learning ML means, so yes, statistics is important. So start from the statistics, and then ML algorithm. So again, inside the ML algorithm, so there is a supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised. Then try to build some application, try to productionize some application, try to check the scalability of that, and then start getting into a deep learning, like a neural network. Again, inside the neural network, so there are many things which comes into a picture, starting from the basic of a vanilla neural network, and then like a CNN. Again, there is a many variants of CNN, starting from the LeNet, LXNet, ResNet, VGG16, or I would say InceptionNet, or maybe RCNN, faster RCNN, or maybe SSD Lite, YOLO, or like tiny YOLO. So there are many more things which comes into picture. So just try to explore all those things in terms of algorithm, and then try to do the implement.
Okay.
So this is the sequence. So ML, DL, and then NLP, things that you should follow.
Okay.
Let him finish, guys.
So
yeah,
the architecture, whatever is going through the class.
Yeah. No, so sorry, what was your question? Can you repeat?
The architecture. No, how can I utilize the architecture class?
See, architecture, it's for everyone, I would say, those who have experience about, that's the reason I told you. So I'm not going to talk about code, because code it will be a roadblocker for many of you.
Yeah.
So because many of you are not aware about the code algorithm again, because like whatever project that we have, so it's a heavily we have implemented algorithm, and that too not directly. It's a customized approach that we have implemented in every project. So that's the reason. So architecture will try to give you a very clear idea that, okay, so this is how a development happens. This is the tools, technology which use in this particular places. This is the terminology that we use in general, and this is how I will be able to explain, and I will be able to talk about these things. This is the things which is possible in AI, and this is the things which is not possible into AI. So architecture class will give you answer of all of these questions. So this is how, again, so you are from the automobile domain, right? Automotive domain.
I'm from the retail.
Retail domain. Okay, fine. So retail I have already mentioned over here. So you will get to know that, okay, fine. So in retail, so what is the challenges that we generally face? And again, so you will be able to correlate with your current work as well. Because if you are into a retail domain, for sure, you understand your part. I'm assuming that you understand your retail domain, and then you will be able to correlate that, okay, fine. So this is how AI solution we are going to build. Now, when we talk about the AI solution, so this is the approach that we used to follow, basically. Until this point, so we will be able to automate it, or they will be able to do a prediction, forecasting, and all those things. So this is how architecture will try to help you out, I would say. Yeah, end to end. So at least you will be aware about the entire technology stack, and at least it will give you a capability to discuss. As of now, if I'll ask you that, okay, fine. So what is the AI solution that we can use, or what is the challenges that your client is facing, and that you have solved it by the help of AI, and how effective it was, right? You might not be able to give an answer, right? Same question I'll ask you after 3 weeks, and then you will be having an answer, basically, in terms of AI, right? So in this perspective, I'm going to talk about the architecture. So I'm not expecting any kind of a background understanding that, no, you should know about the coding, you should know about the algorithm. I will not go on that level. Architecture means I'll talk about the pure architecture over here, a pure development phases that we used to follow. So I think I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah, Sudhanshu, thanks a lot.
Okay. Next question, please.
Hey, Sudhanshu, Sushant here.
Yes, Sudhanshu, go ahead.
Actually, I'm from the telecom background. Okay.
Okay.
So I try to find out the many projects or any data sets or like from related to telecom industry. So how I can present myself in the data science community. when I go for interview or
Sir,
anything?
I think this is what we are going to talk about, right? 3 weeks. So just wait for 3 weeks. I think you will get to know about that. Yeah. So
Oh.
I can give you answer in 30 seconds, but I think that will not be beneficial. Like that will not be like a solution
Good.
for that will not be a proper answer for your question. So I would suggest
So
you try to attend it. I think you will get an answer.
I'm following the path like that. Ki, I'm trying to learn. I start from the statistics, then I'm now trying to learn the Python. In that ML and DL is there. So is
Yeah.
it that right path, or I need to do anything more
Yeah,
on?
right path is right, but yeah, so like approach that you are following to learn all those things again matters. So unless and until I don't know about that, so maybe I'm not in a position to evaluate
Since
it.
last 2 years, I'm trying to learn these things.
I think, sir, then you have spent like more than required time. So people don't take this much of time. I think you should think about that. Maybe a procedure that you're trying to follow. If you're not able to get a benefit out of that, something you should think. I think this is what I think. So
Any planning for machine learning?
sorry.
Like this live projects, are you giving lectures for or dashboard for machine learning algorithm?
No, sir. Machine learning comes under affordable AI, so it's already affordable. So we are not going to make it as a community event.
Okay.
Yeah, machine learning. So it's a see. The thing is, even we are giving affordable AI, it takes a lot of effort from our end, right? And again, it goes for I would say 4 months to 5 months, and every kind of a support we used to provide from our end in terms of everything. Even you are going to get stuck with your system setup, right? From the basic till advanced system setup that we used to do. So till in every places you are going to get stuck, and in every places we used to support, right? And that to live, that to some most of the time 1-to-1, I would say.
Okay.
Right. So
Sudhanshu,
those kind of
wait,
things
I'll just answer it.
we can't. Yeah.
Sudhanshu, Chris this side, I'll answer it. Okay, guys. So you were asking about the ML free session also, right? So understand this thing, right? We are just starting an affordable AI education, and the main aim is again to teach as many as people as you can. And again, you can understand that whenever we launch one batch, after that we launch so many free session batches like this. We have started Python, Power BI, Tableau. Now we are starting with architecture and all. So probably that part is basically in the affordable AI, where we are including ML and DL separately. So what you can do is that you can ask some questions. Let Sudhanshu take some rest. I'll be answering your questions itself.
Yeah, and one more thing. So like I'm planning to open source like stats class as well. So my stats classes.
Yeah.
So yes, it will be also a part of community event. So maybe after 3 to 4 weeks, so I will announce for a new community classes, which will be on a stats, end-to-end stats, not only just a basic. So it again, so we are going to take a couple of not a couple of classes, end-to-end entire stats itself. We are going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll try to complete the whole statistics part.
Yeah, whole statistics part
that
for the
will be
data
also
science
announced
in that one. But yeah, as far as machine learning project and code and all those things is concerned, so we don't have any plan as such to make it as open source as of now.
And probably if somebody is interested to actually know about the machine learning part, guys, we are most probably starting a new batch in the end of May. Okay. Just for your curiosity. Okay?
Yeah. So under affordable AI again. So.
Yeah, under affordable AI. ML
Surely
plus
will
DL.
join.
Yeah. Hi. I don't have any kind of industrial experience. I'm completely, you can say, experience-wise a fresher. But I am in higher education. In 1 or 2 years, I will be a scientist. I'm doing full-time research. So my research is completely in climate change, oceanography science. So I'm doing a lot of numerical modeling simulations and a basic implementation of Python to that's visualize the data, a little bit of statistics.
Okay.
So how if I try to start it in learning data science machine learning? So
Sudhanshu, you just take rest. I will try to answer him.
Okay, fine.
How the
okay. First of all,
response me.
Yeah.
Also, somehow I have noticed that industry prefer a fresher than a higher educated, not experienced, who has done a higher education. And especially
sure, I'll answer your question. First, let me just complete this first part, okay, and then we'll continue the discussion. Now, with respect to your domain, you are already in a lot of research. So probably once you clear this, and whenever you go in the future company, you'll just not be given a position of data scientist. You will be also considered as a domain expertise since you have been working in this specific domain, that is climate domain, for a long period of time. But definitely understanding the technique of data science is necessary so that you will be able to understand how you can work with your data, work with the climate kind of data to come up with a lot of information. You can come up with problem statement with respect to that. So definitely, when you are learning already, since you have a domain knowledge, and once you're learning this data scientist, that basically means you are just integrating data science with your problem statement. And I usually say that data science is a technique which can be applied in each and every domain. So it is pretty much important that with respect to your domain, you can do a lot of things. Yes, you can ask the next question.
Hi, Akshay here. Yeah, I have one question.
No, I think he did not complete the whole question. I hope just ask me one more question you were asking, right?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm a fresher, so I don't have an idea of the industry like anything. This course will be for me.
Yes. So for freshers, definitely the type of projects that we are covering in iNeuron is quite extensive. You'll be learning the end-to-end implementation along with the architecture discussion. And for freshers, we, help you to build your resume in such a way, and that we actually build the resume end-to-end. So say like a person will be there with you. They'll understand your work experience. They'll understand what kind of work you have done, and based on that, we actually help you to build up your resume. So definitely we have heard a lot of success stories from a previous batch from the freshers itself, with respect to that.
Hello.
Okay,
so definitely it will be very, very much helpful.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
And so when for freshers you tell to work on original projects, like Sudhanshu sir mentioned that in spite of working on the open source projects that iNeuron provides, it will be impressive if we work on an original project. So for freshers, advice on going
So
on
definitely for that case only we have started internship program in iNeuron, right? So once you are able to submit all the assignments, so internship is for that particular purpose only, so that you will be able to get some kind of experience on the real world project that the iNeuron team is working on.
Okay.
Hey Krish, hi, Akshay here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Akshay.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah,
I have a question that being a technical support engineer, like we don't have any any experience regarding the programming field or anything regarding the statistic, then how can we transit to the data science based on the experience? So we have a 4 years of experience or 5 years of experience, and we want to transit into the data science. Surely we will learn machine learning and deep learning, but how to portray the same on our resume? Because being technical support, we won't be able to show anything project being done into the same. So that's my question.
Now suppose how we usually consider this situation is that, trust me, you'll hardly find some people who are having experience of somewhere around 5 to 6 years in data science. Data science has become popular right now within this 2 to 3 years. Okay. And before also they were working, we used to call it different names. It was not specifically considered as data science itself. They used to work in predictive modeling before also. Now with respect to your experience, whatever experience you have, once you are learning, once you're implementing multiple projects, what we do is that the resume building part, right, will help you to make your resume in such a way that from the previous 4 years, at least 1.5 years, we'll try to put that in your data science part. And definitely you can tell projects that you have done, like that kind of projects you can do. Definitely recruiter will not come to your company and check whether you have done that project or not, right?
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, from a data extraction point of view, do we need to learn Hadoop and all from big data?
Okay.
No, whatever stack is required. So I think I'll talk about that stack. So in your architecture discussion itself. So don't worry about that. So this question will be answered in your session itself.
And in terms of, I think in the future we'll also be planning for big data, this kind of sessions. That
free this community event. So we are we are planning for that as well.
Okay, I was
so
just
that you'll
trying
get
to
that
figure out what skill sets are required, because I'm part of the community classes at the moment, and I want to join the upcoming MLDL batches also. So as you said that the next batch will be starting somewhere around the end of this month. So I just wanted to utilize my time to learn the other skills that are required apart from Python and DL.
Just try to focus, I would say, as of now on this community event, if you're a part of that. So once you will start with your batches, don't worry about that. So we'll take care of it. Yeah. As of now, just try to build your base with the help of these things. Like I said, so programming is not a part. Programming is not. I generally don't consider programming as a data science. Simple, according to me. So yeah, many people do that, but whatever things is required, we'll discuss. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Pankaj this.
Yes.
I want to ask one question. I have experience of 5 years in big data side. Okay. Will big data be considered as a part of data science?
Definitely. You can basically apply in your resume as a full stack data scientist, a data scientist who have extensive years of experience in big data. So you are the most suitable profile to get into this particular job position.
Okay, and is a big data be considered as a different means work wise of the data scientist? Do
No,
data
no.
scientists have
Nowadays,
to means do implement the pipelining process like whole ETL process starting from coding from the source to the putting the data in the target and then analyzing the data, or it will be part of any
Yes,
ETL
yeah.
test,
So see,
ETL?
whenever we try to build a whole project, right? So data science, big data, and data analytics always comes handy, I would say. And all those three things works hand to hand. So in big data, so we try to build the entire pipeline. Then in data science part, so we'll try to build a model, and then we for the prediction forecasting in data analytics, we try to do a dashboarding. Dashboarding means the final reporting kind of a thing, right? So basically our guys who is having experience into a big data and a data science, so they are considered as a end-to-end full stack data scientist, so that you will be eligible enough to work on to a ETL pipelining as well as into a model building and fine tuning of that and hosting it. So yes, those experiences are relevant. So again, I have a same kind of experience. You can check my profile. And apart from that, so whatever project that we have mentioned inside your email, so even in our project, so we try to follow the same procedure.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah. Sudhanshu, Ravi here.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah, I saw in one of the questions that how are you rate yourself in big data technologies? That how knowledge that should we gain to showcase ourselves as a big data knowledge?
See, sometimes only architectural understanding is more than enough, I would say, as a data scientist. So it's not like you should know about the Hadoop and then you should know about the MapReduce, you should know about the Hive, then Impala, and then Kafka, and then Flume, and then Uji, and then a Scoop, and then I would say like a Spark, then inside a Spark ML, Spark Streaming, or Spark SQL, or like a Spark Graphics. So it should not like you should know about each and every stack. Just in terms of architecture, if you have understanding, it's completely fine, because big data always allows you to build a best architecture. So with the help of a different kind of a platform, different kind of SQL, NoSQL system, and including all those infrastructure into a Hadoop, into a distributed computation, or maybe a in-memory processing of the data set. So just in terms of architecture, it's more than enough. If you are applying as a data scientist, you should have a core expertise into a statistics algorithm. This is what
Thanks
people
for
think
that.
about.
Thanks for that. I am part of that DL NLP that CV batch. But are you covering any that what DevOps kind of stuff or not?
Yes, sir, we are covering over there. So already we are covering a CI, we are going to include a CI/CD and Kubernetes in that one.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello, I'm audible.
I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible. Go ahead.
I wanted to check, for all the domains, you have a specific documentation or something like that?
No, sir. So we have a documentation, like I told you, like I was showing you a documentation, but generally I avoid going through a documentation in my live classes. So I will try to take my pen and then my board, and then I will try to explain you. Digital board, basically, the way I used to write. You can watch other recordings as well, which is available in our Iron website, on Iron YouTube channel, and the same pattern I'm going to follow. Generally, I avoid using a PPTs. I'm not a kind of a guy who uses PPTs.
Hello, I need one thing. This is Udayan here.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, thank you all for this entire initiative for this data science community.
Thank you.
Now coming to me, I have overall 15 years of IT experience, having a certification in data science, and I certainly started working in a machine learning team. A common introductory interview question that I have come across personally is, which are the algorithms that I know and I have worked upon? So given my background, could you please share your thoughts for a good response to make a good first impression?
again, so whenever you are going to talk about algorithm, and again, people are asking you that, okay, fine, so what are all algorithms basically you know with your best? So you can say that, so it's not like a single algorithm that I used to implement into a project. So sometime what happens is, so I have worked into a couple of projects where I have used a customized machine learning approach. Now what happens? I'll give you one example. Suppose there is a data set which is available with the Uber, right? We heard about Ola and Uber, right?
Yes.
Now let's suppose, so if I have to like solve one use case, and the use case is like I have to predict that what is a traffic I will be able to expect in this particular area. Suppose if I'm in a Bangalore area, right? And in Bangalore itself, Bangalore is a huge area. Bangalore is having a huge area. So in this 5-kilometer radius, so what will be the traffic I will be able to expect, so that I will read out each and every vehicle that I have in that particular area, right? And again, it depends upon the time as well, because for the different time, different days, there will be a different expectation for the traffic. Agree? Right?
Yes.
And likewise, so we have to do a prediction and forecasting for the entire world, or suppose for the entire country, or suppose for the entire continent, right? Agree? Now here, so you can't even say that I will use just a single algorithm, a regressor or some classifier, and then I will be able to build a model. So first of all, what we used to do is, so we used to divide all of those areas into a group based on the clustering or based on the similarity check. Now, once we'll be able to divide based on the radius, based on the similarity check, or based on the, I would say, a distance between the data set, then we try to identify that which algorithm is going to work in which model. It could possible that if I'm trying to solve a classification problem, but in some area, my data is trying to show me a trend, or my algorithm is trying to show me a trend, or my algorithm is trying to learn a better relationship with the help of maybe a random forest. But in some other area, so it is trying to like learn all of those things. Data set is same. I have given you just one data set, right? But on top of one data set itself, first of all, you have done the clustering, and again, you have created a multiple cluster. Now, in each and every cluster, in each and every different clusters, basically, so what you are trying to do is, so you are trying to implement a different algorithm. So suppose if I have a multiple clusters over here, and then it could possible that in cluster 1, in cluster, let's suppose this is the cluster 2 and this cluster 3. Cluster 1 is, every cluster is having 5-kilometer radius, let's suppose. Right? So in this cluster, so again, every cluster, every data set, I'm trying to do a classification or maybe a regression or same kind of a prediction. But here, so maybe like a ensemble technique is going to work well. Maybe here, so boosting technique is going to work well. And over here, so maybe a stacking technique is going to work well. This is how, this is called as a customized learning. And this is how we actually build a model. So whenever you will try to answer this question, so you say that, no, sir, it's not like that. So basically, like I'm well versed with all the kind of a generic clustering algorithm. I'm well versed with all the classification or all the regression, and depends upon the customized machine learning approach that we use to implement a project. So accordingly, we try to test it, that which algorithm is going to work fine with which one. Because at any point of a time, you can't say that this algorithm is very good and that's the reason, so I am very good with this algorithm. You can't claim that, no, ensemble technique is always going to give you a better outcome, or XGBoost algorithm is going to give you a better outcome. That's the reason, so I'm very good with the XGBoost. No. Whenever you will try to solve a real-time problem, so we always try to follow the customized machine learning approach. And that's the reason, so even the project that we have given, so in that one, so we are trying to use a customized machine learning approach. So with respect to a project, basically, you are supposed to justify your answer. Unless and until, along with the project, if you're not able to justify your answer, people will think that, okay, fine, so this guy is just taking some names. Because name-wise, anyone can take any 15, 20 names, right, of the algorithm.
Yes.
So I have to give a justification for that. So why? If I'm saying that, okay, fine, I'm good with the random forest, XGBoost, and all those things, why I'm saying that? In which project I have used it, basically. And then with this example, so you're supposed to express yourself, and for sure, people will buy that argument. Making sense?
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the response.
Sir, I'm going to take your ML session, your MLDL session, and right now whatever we are discussing here, I'm going in the reverse order. First, I'm coming to know about the interview process. Hello?
No, first of all, you're trying to understand basically architecture. It's completely fine. If you will try to exclude the resume part, so like the architecture part is left, and I think you will go through the architecture part in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, one question regarding the syllables.
Yeah.
How can a automobile and industry have only one solution design?
Not only one solution design, actually. There are many problem statements that we have faced recently, with which like we are working with the some of the automobile, I would say, like a companies who is trying to build our solutions and who have a software infrastructure. So we were trying to integrate our AI solution with them. I'll talk about that. in your session itself. And there is not only one solution which is possible. Like I said, so for every domain, I will be talking about a multiple solution. And first of all, solution, before the solution, so we'll talk about a problem statement. So because whatever solution we are going to talk about, so we are talking about the solution to solve some kind of problem, right? Unless and until a people, end user, or my client is not able to get some kind of a benefit in terms of a users, number of users acquisition, or maybe in terms of cost cutting, or maybe in terms of a revenue, right? There is no use, or none of the company used to work in any of the project which is not profitable for them, right? So basically, I will talk about a problem statement first of all, and then I'll come to the solution, and then I'll come to the designing part. This is how this architecture discussion is going to happen, I would say.
Yeah, based on problem statement, the architecture will be varying, right? There would be
yes, that will be varying. That's the reason. So I said that. So there is no generic architecture which you will be able to implement. So if you know one architecture, doesn't mean that it is going to work into other one. Every problem statement is having a different architecture. Every problem statement is having a different problem statement, and this is how we try to solve it, I would say, in a real time. Okay. So fine, guys, I think we have taken enough amount of questions from every one of you, and I think this things is very much clear. And this was all about an induction session, introduction about ourselves, and introduction about, and again, so I think most of the questions we have clarified, and the question which we are not able to clarify, so I think it will be clarified in our upcoming sessions. So just try to attend all of those sessions, try to complete it, try to take advantage of it as much as possible, and for sure you will be able to get best out of it. I can say, like in any community event, so people are able to get a benefit. So just try to understand it. Let's try to see how it's going to happen, and what all things we will be able to learn with that. So thank you so much, guys, to join this session. And from tomorrow onwards, so there will be regular classes. I think you are aware about our infrastructure, the services that we are going to provide you. So let's try to avail this services, this infrastructure as much as possible, and try to learn and try to clarify your doubts as much as possible. So we have a class on the same time, the time that we have proposed, the time which is available inside your dashboard. And again, I'm repeating, so you will be able to get a notification before 10 minutes of a session. And again, so the Zoom link will be available in your dashboard as well. So even if you are not able to find out a notification, you can look into your dashboard and you will be able to join even from there by just clicking on that particular Zoom link, and for everything you will be notified. And again, so we have a dedicated support team as well, live support team, who used to work from a morning 9 a.m. to night 12, I would say. So 12 a.m. this is the regular timing, but you will feel that we even try to respond at 4 o'clock morning. But yeah, this is the regular timing of the support team, and the support Skype ID is. So we used to provide a support on a Skype. Support Skype ID is so support@INEURON.AI. So this is the Skype ID. So you can try to ping us, and yes, try to ask all the relevant question. No relevant question should be asked over here in this particular platform. And yeah, most of the doubts we will try to clarify in a class itself, in a live classes. With that, thank you so much, guys, to everyone, and see you again in tomorrow's lecture. So Chris, are you there? Okay, so I think Chris is not able to unmute himself. So fine, guys, thank you so much, and let's join the session again, and let's start this particular architecture and resume building discussions in a full scale. With that, thank you so much, and have a great day ahead.